Help me reach 1,000 subscribers. Please, like the video and share your thoughts. In the comments, your feedback helps. Make the content better, hey. Before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you won't miss stories like this. She said it quietly, but the weight behind it was undeniable. She wasn't happy. Those 4 words landed harder than any insult ever could. They were soft, careful, almost like she didn't want to hurt me. And yet, each syllable felt like it shattered something deep inside my chest. We were in the kitchen. The faint scent of burnt toast lingered in the air, a small, ordinary detail that made the moment feel even more surreal. I remember her hands trembling as she wiped the counter, avoiding my eyes. "I'm just not happy anymore, Mark," she whispered. Not happy. Simple words, but they carried a depth I couldn't ignore. For months, something had changed. Our laughter had thinned. The warmth in her eyes reduced to polite acknowledgement. Dinners became silent, each of us staring at our screens instead of talking. I told myself it was stress, routine, the dull plateau that comes after years together. But deep down, I knew she had been drifting long before she spoke it aloud. Hearing it finally made it real. She wasn't angry. She wasn't cruel. She was distant. And somehow, that hurt more than anger ever could. I asked gently, "Is it something I did?" She shook her head. "It's not you. It's me. I feel like I'm disappearing here. It's strange how people can grow apart without meaning to. We build lives around shared dreams, but eventually one person stops believing in them. I tried to fix things at first. Small getaways, her favorite dinners, leaving notes on her pillow like we were still newly in love. She smiled at them, sometimes even thanked me. But her eyes told the truth. She had already left. She was just waiting for the courage to make it final. The nights became long. I'd lie awake listening to her soft breathing beside me, wondering when love became something I had to fight for, something I had to earn back. One evening at dinner, she said, "I feel like I'm living someone else's life." I set my fork down. "You mean mine?" Her silence answered me. That night, I stayed in the living room long after she went to bed. The TV flickered quietly. The empty couch across from me, a ghost of what we once were. I realized then, I'd been trying to save someone who didn't want saving. The next morning, I made coffee for both of us like always. She came in wearing one of my old shirts. For a fleeting moment, it felt like the past. Simple, familiar, safe. Then she said, "Mark, we need to talk." This time, I didn't flinch. I nodded. "I can't keep pretending. I feel trapped. You deserve someone who makes you happy. I'm not that person anymore." No blame. No anger. Just honesty worn like exhaustion. I studied her for a long moment. "If you're that unhappy, I won't stop you." Her eyes widened, like she hadn't expected me to let her go so easily. Maybe she thought I'd beg, promise a change, fight for something already gone. But I didn't. I couldn't. Sometimes love means holding on. Sometimes it means letting go before it turns to resentment. She cried, soft, guilty tears that made it harder. "I don't want to hurt you. You didn't," I whispered. "You just told me the truth." That weekend, I helped her pack. Every empty drawer felt like a goodbye. When she carried the last box to the car, she paused, her eyes red. "Will you be okay?" she asked. I almost smiled. "I don't know, but I'll try." She nodded, got in the car, and drove away. The silence she left was deafening. Yet beneath it, I felt something strange. Not anger, not despair, but release. The first days after she left were like moving through fog. Every corner of the house carried her shadow. The chipped coffee mug, her scarf draped over a chair, a faint trace of perfume in the hallway. It wasn't crushing grief, just an echoing emptiness that followed me room to room. I didn't delete her number or block her on social media. I simply stopped checking. The silence became its own answer. For a while, I wondered if I'd made a mistake, letting her go without resistance. Friends said I should have fought harder, reminded her of what we had. But love isn't a hostage situation. You can't trap someone and call it love. Slowly, quietly, I began reclaiming my life. changing the sheets, rearranging furniture, cooking for one. Each small act felt like a piece of myself returning. Some nights, I walked by the river near our old apartment, watching couples pass, hands intertwined, laughing. I didn't feel envy, just a quiet curiosity. Did they know how fragile those moments were? About a month later, I found a photo of us in an old book. Beach, sand between our toes, sunset behind us. We look happy. Maybe we were. And maybe that's what makes it harder, to know it was real once. I didn't cry. I let the memories settle, close the book, and put it back on the shelf. Healing doesn't happen all at once. It comes in fragments. Quiet mornings, moments you stop checking your phone, the first laugh that feels free. 2 months later, she texted, "I hope you're doing okay." I stared. Part of me wanted to say, "I miss you." Another part wanted to ask if she'd found what she was looking for. I didn't. I replied, "I'm getting there." She wrote back, "Good. You deserve to be." That was the last we spoke. Life gradually found its rhythm. Work busier, morning runs, my sister convincing me to repaint the apartment. For the first time in months, the space felt mine. Not the home she left, but a home I lived in. Sometimes, late at night, I still think of her, not with longing or bitterness, but with quiet understanding. Some people come into your life to teach you how to let go. Happiness isn't given by someone else. It's something you carry yourself. Even when the person you love walks away, anger isn't necessary. Maybe she wasn't happy. Maybe I wasn't either. Comfort isn't always love. Routine isn't always connection. Sometimes we stay because it's familiar, not right. The last time I saw her was by chance, 6 months later, in a downtown coffee shop. She was laughing with a friend, genuinely laughing. She saw me, paused, and smiled. I smiled back, not out of courtesy, but because I meant it. I left without looking back. That night, on my balcony with a cup of coffee, city lights spreading like stars below me, I felt something I hadn't in a long time. Peace. Quiet peace. The kind that whispers, "You did the right thing." She said she wasn't happy. And for the first time, I understood she needed freedom to find herself. I needed to let her go to find myself. Sometimes love doesn't end with fireworks or fury. Sometimes it ends with two people quietly stepping out of each other's lives. Not because they stopped caring, but because they've learned to care for themselves. And in that gentle ending, I finally found something I've been missing all along. Not her, not us, but me.